What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Cali Kid Official Podcast. This is episode number 41, so let's get right into it. So, the much anticipated, highly anticipated Gucci Mane versus Jeezy Verzuz concluded yesterday. It was a very eventful affair. So, let's get into the tracks that was played. So, round one, we had Gucci Mane start off with a diss record called Round One, ironically, versus Jeezy's intro. Get Out on the Gucci. Round two, we had Benchwarmers versus Trap or Die. I Get At a Tie. Round three we had I Think I Love Her versus Standing Ovation. I Get At the Jeezy. Round four we had Plain Jane versus Gangsta Music. I Get At the Gucci. Round five we had I'm a Dog versus Bottom of the Map. Get At the Jeezy. Round six we had Vet Pass By versus Jeezy the Snowman. Get At the Jeezy. Round seven, Gucci got into his vibe bag with the Wake Up in the Sky, and Jeezy came with Them Boys. I Get Out on the Gucci, and there was taking little pop shots back and forth, throughout the battle. Gucci was like, "Why you playing all that old shit? Play some up to date shit." But I'm gonna get more into that later. Then for round eight, we had That's My Hood versus Let's Get It / Sky's the Limit. Get At the Gucci. Round nine, we had Both versus Go Crazy. I Get At the Gucci. Round 10, we had Bricks versus All There. I Get At a Tie. Both of them records be hitting. Round 11, we had Half a Brick versus Who Dat. Get At the Gucci. Round 12, we had Steady Mobbin versus They Know. Get At the Jeezy. R.I.P. Shawty Low. That was a classic record. Round 13, we had Heavy versus Lose My Mind. Get At the Jeezy. Round 14, we had Street Niggas versus Way Too Gone. Get Out went to Jeezy as well. Round 16, we had Photo Shoot versus Everything. Get At the Jeezy. Round 17, we had Wasted versus Trap Star. Get At the Gucci. And round 18 is when things almost went left. Gucci played the Truth record. There was this brief pause. They had a conversation with one another. And the energy of the whole room just changed after that. And after Jeezy's speech, he transitioned that into the song "Get Your Mind Right." But I still get that around the Gucci, even though that was a nice flip with what he did. Round 19, Gucci came with 745 versus Put On. I Get At the Jeezy. And then round 20, we had Trap versus I Ain't Seen It All, and I Get At the Jeezy. So we had some bonus rounds. They played some additional records. They played I Get the Bag, Thug Motivation 101, Pills, Soul Survivor, East Atlanta 6, and Jeezy Lemonade, Welcome Back. And then they ended it with them performing their song Icy together, which they pretty much deaded the beef right there, which is cool. But overall, I gave the battle to Jeezy. I scored it 10 rounds to Jeezy, 8 to Gucci, and I had 2 ties. Personally, both of them could have played some different records. They left some heat, off of the battle. But yeah, it almost went left with that. And then after the battle, I saw this video of Gucci pulling up, and he got people armed with machine guns because he ain't playing about that. But you gotta understand, being in a situation like that, you in the room with the person who put a bag on your head to get you killed. So it ain't like y'all gonna be kumbaya, but at least they was able to come together, give the culture this, and dead it right there. They're not gonna be friends, but they can coexist. So I thought that was dope. But some of the songs, that they could play as far as like Gucci, you got this record right here. I think if him and Ti would have went, they would have performed this record together. Because Ti is on here with Kanye West, but he could have played that. They both left some records on the table, but it was a dope battle, and it was cool to see them come together and pretty much squash everything. Both of them dropped new projects. Jeezy's project, The Recession 2, dropped today, which is Friday, and Gucci put together a mixtape with all his classic trap records on there, trap house records, I do believe. But yeah, that was cool. That was cool. The comment section was funny. I did a reaction to the whole battle. You can check that out on my channel. But moving on from that, I wanted to get into what was taking place in Texas. A lot of unfortunate situations. The rapper Mo3, he got killed. It was a situation where it looking like he was possibly set up. He was chased out into the freeway and got hit there. And then Boosie went to go see him because that was his artist, and Boosie ended up getting shot in the leg. He doing better now, but it's crazy. And then you had Benny the Butcher. He got shot and robbed in Houston. So it's a lot going on out there. Hopefully people can put that shit to the side. I know Jay Prince is out there. Maybe he can put in a call and quell, what's going on in Texas. Because situations like that don't need to be happening with everything going on in the world right now. But moving on from that, Lil Wayne is in the news. He's facing federal weapons charges based off of a case back in December. I guess during some type of plane search, they found weapons. So if it says if convicted, he faces 10 years. So these is like similar charges to when he had to go to Rikers Island, I do believe. So it says he received federal weapons charges in connection with a December 2019 plane search in Florida. Per report, the charge on Tuesday has charged him with one count of possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon. If convicted, the sentence could be as high as 10 years. A court appearance is slated for December. With the plane search, which occurred ahead of its final stop in California, Miami-Dade police were acting on what the Miami Herald said at the time was a tip about weapons and marijuana. So somebody told, probably the pilots or somebody within the crew. Federal agents were alerted in order to secure a search warrant to give the private plane a look at Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport. In a statement to Complex on Tuesday, Weezy's attorney, Howard Shrebnick, explained that his client had been charged for possessing a gold-plated handgun in his luggage while traveling on the plane. He highlighted the fact that there's no allegation that he's a dangerous person. The charge is because he was convicted of a felony in the past. He is prohibited from possessing a firearm. Yeah, so he wasn't moving smart. So whoever was riding with you, they gonna probably have to take the fall for it, because you gotta protect the bag. But if they found it on him, then it ain't really too much he can do. So, and of course 50 Cent come in trolling. He basically said hurry up and get Trump on the case. But yeah, that's crazy. So hopefully things work out for him. We don't need nobody being locked up. We do not need that. But Moving on for that into sports, so we've had several trades take place within the NBA. The Lakers traded for Dennis Schroder. They traded Danny Green and a first round pick for him. He's going to be a nice guard piece for the team. He can facilitate um, and navigate his own offense. So he's going to be an asset to the team. The Lakers have been busy. They're looking to go after some other players, but this is the first one to fall. Chris Paul has been traded to the Suns. OKC traded Chris Paul and Abdel Nader for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen LeQuay, and a 2022 first round pick. From what I've understood, Kelly Oubre was traded to the Warriors due to Klay Thompson coming down with that injury. So it's going to be a lot of moving pieces, especially with the season picking back up at the end of December. Also in sports, we get a bit of an update on that case dealing with the football players accused of robbery. So it's looking like the charges against DeAndre Baker are going to be dropped because of extortion by the attorney. So it says robbery charges against former New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker are being dropped after the lawyer for 3 of the alleged victims was arrested for extortion. Baker, 23, was accused of robbing a Miami area party in May, along with Seattle Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar. Baker was charged with 4 counts of armed robbery, while Dunbar escaped any criminal charges. The lawyer for 3 of the alleged victims, William Dean, was arrested Monday on extortion charges related to the robbery. He looked like he got a bit of hate in his heart. He looked crazy in this picture. So pretty much it says that he was extorting them for almost $1 million and that he would get his clients to basically change their story. And you know, when you do that, it pretty much tanks the case. But it says, according to Pat Leonard of the New York Daily News, Dean was trying to extort $800,000. In exchange, Dean would coach his clients to weaken the case against him. This casts doubt about whether the case against ex-Giant DeAndre Baker will continue. Investigators say Dean was attempting to extort Baker, wanted Baker to pay each of his clients more than $266,000, and in exchange, the victims in the case would oblige in turn. Vicks would either stop cooperating with prosecutors in the case or change their initial sworn statements to police, thereby weakening the case against Baker. Yeah, basically they will become unreliable witnesses and the prosecution side wouldn't be able to do anything with that. Evidence reveals Dean told Baker's attorney his clients would do anything you want so long as the money is right. Yeah, that's crazy. ESPN reported Friday that 3 of the 4 alleged robbery victims had recanted their earlier statements in which they testified that Baker and Dunbar had robbed them. Yeah. So Julius Lamar, Stephen Compton, Tommy J. Hartshaw said in sworn statements that Baker did not directly or indirectly participate in any robbery or assist in a robbery at the scene or elsewhere. The 3 men added that they didn't see Baker rob or assault anyone with or without a firearm. In a statement released by Broward State's Attorney Office, Assistant State Attorney Paul R. Valcour said that the charges against Baker were being dropped after the alleged victims and the known witnesses have become uncooperative and their credibility is unalterably tarnished. Yeah. They tanked the case. The alleged and probably non-existent robbery happened at a party. Yeah, it was supposed to be over a card game. So, well, things worked out for him. He's going to get his career back. You know, things was looking pretty bleak for him. So, they pretty much managed to escape that situation. But moving on for that, we had the 2020 NBA draft. I only wanted to get into a couple of draft picks, you know, that people had their eyes on. Round 1, pick 1, Minnesota took Anthony Edwards, the shooting guard out of Georgia. Golden State took James Wiseman, the center out of Memphis. And then Charlotte drafted Lamelo Ball. So that's going to be interesting because Lamelo and Lonzo are going to be playing some games against each other. So That should be pretty cool. And then we might get Jordan versus LeVar. That shit will be funny. That will be funny. So that's all I pretty much wanted to say about that in terms of the NBA draft. But moving on for that into a bit of news in the world. Another one of those sex trafficking operations have been brought to light. This one is called Operation Stolen Innocence. It's been going on for 2 years, and it's led to a sex trafficking bust in Tallahassee, Florida. So the government has been at work catching people. It says more than 170 charged in Florida child sex trafficking network. That's some sick ass shit. I don't see how you can consciously participate in something like that. It says a 2-year investigation by the Tallahassee Police Department into the horrific sexual exploitation of a teenage girl netted a staggering amount of arrests, with more than 170 people charged over recent months. On Tuesday, Tallahassee Police Chief Lawrence Ravel and state and federal officials announced results of Operation Stolen Innocence, a highly secretive investigation into the commercial sex trafficking of the girl, who was 13 and 14. When the alleged offenses occurred. The investigation, which police officials declined to acknowledge for months. Yeah, they had to keep it under wraps because a lot of times these networks and stuff be having people, you know, in certain places to tip them off, and that's how they're able to get away with things so long. That's similar situation with the Epstein. You know, he knew people in certain positions, and they pretty much look the other way until they couldn't no more. But it says more than 100 were charged with felonies. Yeah, this whole situation is crazy. If you guys want to check it out, you can find it on Yahoo News or just type in Operation Stolen Innocence and it'll give you a breakdown of everything, because it's a pretty lengthy article and I didn't want to read through all of it. But yeah, they found people in Ohio, Georgia, Florida. So I'm pretty sure some more of these operations going on, and you know, as time passes on, there's going to be more of these possibly popping up. But that's going to pretty much do it for this week's podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Before you guys go, make sure you guys check out my latest record. It's called Spanish Talk. It's a Spanish EDM record. Give it a listen. It's on my YouTube channel. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Anchor, Spotify, and everywhere else, I also appreciate you all for tuning in. And until the next one, peace.
Ay papi.